So to continue this discussion about radio and about sympathy with a machine that is in live broadcast to people who are in a physical location as compared to, say, a streaming broadcast to umpteen millions around the world through the mechanism of the internet. They're very different, and I'm not sure how to quantify how they're different, but they certainly exist in a different place in the mind of the listener. Satellite radio versus the local FM radio station. One of the other aspects of radio being broadcast via the mechanism of a signal which has only a certain amount of range is that people producing content for it can be in concert with the people in that area in many different ways. But say, for example, the simplest, most obvious, the weather. On a rainy day, if you turn the radio on and between songs you hear someone say, "Still coming down out there," and they're saying we might get a break on Thursday. So here's a little John Coltrane. It feels completely different than if you are listening to a satellite radio station and a guy comes on and goes, "Coltrane, the greatest tenor saxophonist of the second half of the 60s, let's hear it, baby," and throws it on. There is a primal connection to the tribe of listeners who also look up and know it's raining in that, vicinity, in the range of that particular broadcast. It's inherently more directly related. So when people tell me nowadays, "Oh, dude, why don't you just podcast? Everybody's podcasting. You should just make a podcast. Why don't you stream on da da da?" And we've done several of these. I say we because I did it with Lloyd Dangle once, a couple times, and then it isn't the same. And there's a reason why it isn't the same. That's not related to how much I can promote it in my neighborhood. There is something diplomatic about an FM signal broadcasting from a transmitter. Innate in the process of content production is something, special. And it's different from standing on a soapbox downtown or in a corner that's very busy and shouting out my ideas through a bullhorn, or interviewing a guy standing next to me in front of people. Because anybody can turn it off. You don't have to tune in the broadcast. Which is where learning how to do radio and learning the FCC rules for radio are really important, I think. But to me, a very simple dream is to install a 30-foot antenna right about there. Maybe 50-foot antenna right about there. And to wire it so it could come right to me sitting right here in a booth or in a vehicle and broadcast live radio to a 5-mile radius of where I'm sitting. And the micro-power movement, which came out of the movement that we were all about, pirate radio, meaning basically that the FCC shouldn't exist with regard to the FM band, or anything that I can build and transmit with anyone else can tune in should be my damn business, which moved into micro-power radio finally being a breakthrough with regard to what they understand we want, in some ways anyway, allows this sensibly. So that's what I really want to do. I want to put an antenna. You can even stick it in the circle in the middle. Right there. You stick the antenna in the circle right there in the middle. Put a little shack there. Put a little shack under it. Glass box that I described earlier. Transmitter. I would need a power source. City of San Antonio, District 8. And what I would cover would be this field and the inhabitants of it, like the birds and the animals, the weather overhead, and stories that affect the region of where I am broadcasting. It would be non-commercial radio, not for profit. And more people should do that. Well, just use the internet. Why just make a show on the internet? We have a show on the internet. Everybody can see everyone. You don't even need all that bullshit. Build that. What are we talking about? You're a dumbass. So one of the things I was thinking is if I was going to broadcast, streaming again using the internet rather than trying to transmit via FM, there might be a way to just set up a single page and have it be looping content, and then just change the content at certain times. So they're pre-produced pieces, but they land, if you will, at a certain time. Wouldn't be live, but that's kind of what's happening here, in so much as I don't really have any followers. But it's just vlogging, right?